Hello! In this section, we will navigate and understand an important concepts inside a big area in development called DevOps. Through the development life cycle that all of us uses. Nowadays, agile culture and digital transformation are spread out in all development organizations. I believe that every management in organizations believe in agility and digital transformation, but they don't know how to implement in the right way. What shall we do? Inside the below lectures, we will answer these questions concerning using DevOps in your daily development lifecycle. Our agenda will cover what's DevOps, continuous development and continuous integration as DevOps practices, DevOps key finding trends and DevOps tools. These key aspects of the development life cycle in every project, from coding, build, test, deliver. The main question here, am I do this aspect correctly with efficient way or not? Am I using the right concepts and the tools and frameworks or not? The traditional way of development is that after I got the requirements from the user and created my backlog, I started development and coding. As soon as I finished the project development and the code or backlogs and requirements, I hand over the project to testing team. Starting the testing activity. After passing testing, I release and deploy it to operation and client environments. The nightmare here is the client seeing the project after we completed all our activities. Then every change will cost me a lot. On the other hand, deployment, release, handover are manually done. So it takes time and cost. For example, when you face deployment problem, you live a really hard times before closing and deadline. Modern application lifecycle solves this traditional ways problems with a magic word called continuous. Continuous in everything. Continuous development, continuous integration, continuous feedback, continuous testing that leads to continuous delivery. With this life cycle, we have requirements and backlogs. Every backlog item developed and automatically integrated and paused with the testing team. After testing team automatically deployed and delivered to the client to get feedback. Every feedback will be inserted in the backlog to start the cycle again. Then we don't have any manual handover, any manual deployments, any nightmares, any aggressive deadlines. To gain these benefits of this development life cycle, you have to change your traditional way for communication between IT, development, testing, client to DevOps. So, what is a DevOps? DevOps is the term used to refer to a set of practices that enhance the collaboration and the communication both developers and IT while automating the process of software delivery and infrastructures. High performers organizations focus in rapidly and frequently reliable deployments and delivery. They deployed over 200x times of the old traditional ways. Two major practices are appeared here: continuous integration and continuous development. Continuous integration. Continuous integration is a development practice that requires developer to integrate code into a shared repository several times a day. Every check-in, then verified and automated build allowing teams to detect any problem early. In this phase, you should be sure that every line of code is written in the right way and integrated with your team and development framework and environment. By integrating regularly, you can detect any errors and locate them most early. This diagram illustrates the life cycle of your code in continuous development and the continuous integration practice. First step, developers, after adding coding the backlog items, they perform a check-in to the source control servers. For example, TFS server, GitHub, and so on. Second step, the continuous integration server, TFS or something, fetch these changes and perform automated build and test to define scenarios. Last step, in case of any failure or warning, the continuous integration servers notify the team leader, the manager, or the developers to solve it immediately. So, with this life cycle, we define the code as being integrated, tested, verified from development level before someone got it. The second practice is continuous deployment. After we are being sure that our code is tested and verified from development perspective, we go to the second phase, which is deployments. The deployments will be done automatically as soon as the team leader or the manager approves the build. So you need something called the continuous deployment. Continuous deployment is a practice of continuously pushing to production new versions of software that's under development, aiming to minimize the lead time, the time elapsed between development and code writing to production or testing or staging environment. With continuous deployment lifecycle, the developers submit the code, then the code is verified and tested to the version source control in the continuous integration process that finished. The build automation server automatically creates the build artifacts, that's the output of our projects, needed to be shipped and deployed to the testing team, staging environment, even to the production environment. Also, you can put approval steps in every deployment step. For example, deploy to the testing environment after approved from the test manager. Deploy to staging environment after approval from the client, then deployment to production. DevOps contains a massive number of tools and framework. This table contains a lot of tools like GitHub, Visual Studio, Team Foundation servers, and so on. You can use the appropriate tool for your framework according to your development environment, tools, and the organization needs. In the next lectures, we will discuss together some key findings about how DevOps speeds the development life cycle, transform your organizations from low performance to higher performance, which deploy to 100 more frequently, speed up the failure, reduce the failure rate, reduce the unplanned work and rework. DevOps nowadays become a trend in development life cycle that increased from 2016 to 2018. Next lecture we will discuss some numbers and charts for this trend in details. For any questions and feedback, don't hesitate to put in the discussion tab. Also, you will find some resources and images, white papers, download it, read it, and discuss it. Thank you.